Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Dark Souls video walkthrough. So now that we've done the painted world, you'll notice we're back in the Firelink Shrine, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to be messing around with some upgrades because I look like I'm going towards Andre. I'm also going to be going down into New Londo, but I make a mistake on this playthrough, and my mistake is that I clear out New Londo before I have the Covenant Ring to walk the Abyss Walker's Ring, Covenant of Artorias or whatever it's called. So I do it in a poor order, really. I should have gone for Sith and then cleared out New Londo, sorry. But it doesn't matter because you can do it in any order, and a lot of people are probably not going to go for the Four Kings immediately anyway, so you can just watch, the other videos after this where I do the other places, and then come back to the Four Kings video when you're there. The Four Kings are one of the most overrated bosses on this game, and they're overrated because you can get very unlucky. And what I mean by unlucky is occasionally the Kings will hit you with criticals where their damage is based around what part of their sword connects to you. And the closer you are to the sword, the less damage it does. So much so that you can get hit and take very minuscule damage. But every so often, you might be at an awkward angle, or the sword might catch you with the right part of it, and it does like 3/4 of your life, or a half of your life. And when you go from taking a couple of centimeters to a full half of your life, it can put you in panic mode. It can even finish you off before you even know you've made a mistake. And that's not mentioning if one of them throws magic at you, which is very difficult to evade, or if one of them grabs you and it can do a lot of damage. So a lot of the difficulty with the Kings is dependent on their behaviour, and sometimes you'll get a King that's pretty dumb, not doing much, and you're just doing too much damage for him to pose a threat. Other times you'll get spammed, where he'll grab you or he'll knock you over, and as you're getting up, before you can even roll, he'll time a slash perfectly to finish you off before you can heal. It happens a lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a difficult boss, because you can go in with heavy armor on, you can go in with, really good defense, a really powerful weapon, lots of endurance, and just stand toe-to-toe with them and knock 10 bells of shit out of their face and win. As long as you've got healing items, and as long as you don't get, as I mentioned, unlucky in those moments. And I'm back in the Daughter of Chaos area. I'm going up to Blighttown, which means I'm probably going to be talking to Quilina. And I think the thought process behind this is, when I run out of stamina with my halberd against the Four Kings, I want to change to the Pyromancy Glove to hit them with some greater combustions. Because there's a little trick against the Kings, where when you kill one, in his dying animation you can still deal damage to him, and the damage that you deal will be taken away from the full life bar, so the next Prospectus King does not have as much life points to dip into, so to say. Because if you do this correctly and you deal enough damage per second to the Kings, sometimes you can only fight 3 of them because you did so much damage. That's how it works. But I'm going to talk about it more in the fight, because, like I say, when done correctly, the Kings are easy, because you can tank them. But if you want to fight them gracefully, then you have to learn them, and that is something that I have not done myself yet, because I don't like the fight. I've mentioned in a previous video that I would have much preferred to literally have 4 guys sat on a throne, or sat on thrones, and fought them individually, one after the other. And I keep fucking leaving my window open, so all the vagabonds on the streets, all the bloody ruffians are making noises, and it's probably going to get picked up on the mic. Which is a pain in the ass, but what can you do?
Truth be told.
So this is our endearing pyromancy lady. I'm looking at some of the stacks for potential usage, but then I just decide to continue upgrading. And you'll notice my flame's not even ascended yet because I've not put enough points into it, but when you're at this point and you're going down the pyromancy tree, if you choose to, you definitely should, because it's so powerful. And I'm going to use a soul to try and upgrade it again, because I've got plenty of them. One thing you will see me do on this playthrough, which is not really recommended for a new player, is I use the boss souls. I've made all the boss weapons before, and this character doesn't need any of them, so I have absolutely no inhibitions towards eating them gladly to get the souls from them. So if you ever wonder what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. But now I can homeward bone away so I don't have to run back to the bonfire. And now we're back at the Firelink Shrine because I didn't rest in the Daughter of Chaos area, or maybe it's just clever editing, we'll never know. And we're going to go down into New Londo, which... This area is very intimidating, and it's intimidating because you can come here at any time. And a lot of new players get to this place early on, much earlier than they perhaps should, and they get bummed by the ghosts. And it happens to everybody, because the ghosts are douchey. You need an item to hit them, they can hit you through walls, they can hit you through cover, and a lot of the strategies in that area is walk into a room and then suddenly get attacked by 10 ghosts, and it's not the most fair situation, really. But when you've come down here a few times, this area is very short compared to some places. This is nowhere near as long as Blighttown, or any area of that. Like, Anor Londo is much longer than this area. This area can be done in 5 minutes when you know what you're doing. But it is still intimidating because you can fall to your death. I landed on this guy and aggroed him, if you're wondering, and then I fucked my parry up and then stab him with a halberd. Like, if you fall in the water, you will die. Never go near any of the water. It's just a death trap. The transient curses, the ghosts do drop them, but sometimes they can be cheap and they don't drop many. But you don't need that many. And I'm actually going to show you a little shortcut here, which does involve killing an NPC, which I saw on a Japanese speedrunner. I never thought to do it myself, but there is downsides to it. And the downside is, because I've never done it before, I didn't realise it aggroes all the ghosts, so I put myself in a pretty tricky situation. So I'm going to have to explain myself when that happens, but these are the ghosts. They have a habit of spawning up through the floor, and they love luring you into an ambush, like this one here. Directly in front is a ghost on its own. You think, oh, one ghost. Then you run in this room, and there's a million of them. And as you can see there was my life, and I ended up getting hugged by one of the ghosts, and before I could roll away, a second ghost hugged me, so I was dead. And it just goes to show it's exceptionally difficult sometimes to not get cheesed by things like this. And one of the worst parts is their weapons go through the wall, but yours doesn't. So you can swing like me, and sometimes you'll rebound off the wall and you don't kill anything, and then they get 3 or 4 cheap shots. And it doesn't take many to kill you when you're being spammed. It's very dangerous. And that was an interesting transition just then. A little jarring, but we'll have to deal with it. I don't pick up that item over there because it's a parrying knife or a parrying dagger, and I don't like it at all. The animation on the parry throws me off so much. I prefer the shields 100% of the time. I realise that the parrying dagger is easier because it's got a bigger window, but fuck that shit. That's like trying to parry in Demon Souls when you've been playing this for like a week. You go over to Demon Souls and the timing is so different, it's like you're playing a different game. And you are, so I suppose it's true. But this is the technique that I saw the speedrunner doing. And what you do, instead of going into the room and killing all the ghosts and climbing the ladder and having a pretty rough time, if you shoot this dude with arrows, you automatically get the key for the seal. And I'm being attacked by a ghost, which is not very cool. Fucking ghosts, man. Look at it, just running away. Who you gonna call? I don't really know, but I don't like ghosts. And what I like worse than ghosts, which is a very strange way to structure a sentence, is the fucking ghost hunting shows. Like, whoever the gullible people are that watch those bag of shit programs and pay those people to make more of them is just baffling. It's like anybody can sit in a room with a night vision camera pointed at the face and pretend to see things. Like, get a couple of ales in me and I can see out what you want me to see. It's ridiculous. Almost as bad as them fucking TV psychics. Jesus Christ. I want to talk to me mum. Well, go to fucking cemetery, you silly bitch, and stop wasting my TV time. God damn it. Don't listen to some fat guy who reads you by using specific terminology to guise bits of information from you. I get the feeling that her passing was tragic. Really? You got that feeling from her passing? The fact that she fucking died made you think that it was sad? God, I hate them people. But you'll notice all the ghosts are on me now and I didn't know, so I'm like, oh god, oh god. That's about 10 ghosts, and if they get close to you, they'll kill you really quick, but the range of their path is not very far, so they can't follow you all the way over to the seal, which is kind of fortunate, or they'd gangbang you. But if you run over here, you press on this, it'll enable you to open the floodgates and drain New Londo, which is what you're planning on doing. And once you've drained New Londo, the rest of this is simple, because all you've got to do is backstab a couple of Darkwraiths and get to the Kings. But I don't have the Covenant Ring, so I will not be getting to the Kings. So right now, what I normally do is I walk to where that ghost is sat on that corner, and I drop down to the lower level and fight the Darkwraith. But there's a lot of ghosts on me here, so I have to do a jump I wouldn't normally do, which is a slightly higher one. And then I realise when this guy comes for me that there's more ghosts. There's 2 ghosts to my right now. I can't see them, but they're there, trust me. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just confusing this moment. So I have to fall again. And this is a legitimate shortcut which will get you away from the ghosts, but it's not the way I normally do this level. So right now when I'm playing, I was a little bit concerned. Not quite as concerned as this guy, because he looks like he's looking for aliens, and I stabbed him in the back. But the Darkwraiths are a fantastic resource when it comes to farming Titanite chunks. They're even better than the Knights in the Kiln, in my opinion, because the run is more beneficial, because you might get the probability of a Titanite slab, which is very rare, but they do drop them. It's like 0.0.0.1% chance of them dropping them, but I've got 2 in my experience with this game. And Titanite slabs are worth it, even though they don't seem like it when you're running down here 90 times. But focus on backstabbing these guys. They can be pretty passive occasionally, but if you're aggressive towards them, they are aggressive back. They're aggressive anyway, but sometimes, like just then, if I'd have run at that guy, he would have responded, but because I was just casually jogging, he was okay with me running around him and shanking him, prison style. But you want to try and lure the lunging attack, because it's so easy to avoid if you strafe to your right. If you strafe to your left, he'll kind of scale with you and he'll hit you. But this is what you want to watch out for. That is a 5-hit combo that he will cut off if it's not hitting you. If it does hit you though, he'll continue to do it until you die. And you can't interrupt these Darkwraiths unless you're using like a fucking Grant or something. You need a really heavy, high damage weapon to break their poise, because they're stacked to the rafters. So this big blob of shit here is one of the most pointless enemies on the game, because if you get behind him, he can't do a single thing to you. It's kind of silly, really. And the closest thing I can compare it to is those flailing limb balls on Demon Souls, but they're very dangerous. I'm not too sure if you can get behind them, because I think they swing in every direction. But they seem similar to that enemy, only even crapper. Because that is a really bad enemy, that one. And there are 2 of them in the game, 2 of them in this area, and they do give you a lot of souls, so as shit as they are, they're rich, which is cool. But I'm currently showing you how to get the very large ember. This enables you to upgrade weapons to plus 15, which is super, super important. And if you're good at New Londo, you can come down here at any time and do this. It's not recommended to new players, but effectively, you could be killing the gargoyles, you could be killing Quelaag, you could be ringing the bells, you could be doing half the game with, you know, plus 15 equipment if you're good enough to get the ingredients to make that kind of weapon. And in relation to PvP, a lot of people look at this as tweaking, and it is tweaking, getting high level gear at a low level to beat up on other low levels that don't have the same kind of gear, but I do think it's fairer than bottomless boxing. I think bottomless boxing should be looked down upon more than tweaking, because people tweak with the bottomless box, so I think that's much worse personally. But this is the area I usually come down here, because I drop down from where those first 2 ghosts are at the very beginning of this area before the ramps. But you'll see that in my journey to the 4 Kings, because I wanted to show you the shortcut that I take. And a lot of people probably know it, but you never know. So there's one guy down here hiding in the shadows, Rasmus style. And you notice how I strafed to the left and he hit me, but I could still get the backstab because he's pretty shit. But never underestimate the Darkwraiths. I can in some ways because I fought them so much, but these guys still kill me occasionally because I got cocky. That is obviously an illusory wall. There's a Titanite chunk in that chest, and there's this dude guarding it. Do not fight him on the really skinny platform, it's just suicide. And if your weapon isn't doing enough damage to kill them with a single backstab, it might be worth putting the Hornet Ring on if you have it, because it'll just make it quicker. Because the more time that they're on their feet in attack range is the more time that you have to die. Because one mistake, two mistakes, and it's good night. And over here's a cheeky shiny. Which is one of the things I'm looking forward to most about the new DLC. Just being able to explore new areas and find all the cheeky shinies. And be careful in this room. Not only is there one of those dogshit monsters, but there's 2 Darkwraiths. And if you get both the Darkwraiths on you, you're going to learn to fight really fast, or you're going to die. And you'll notice the draw distance on this area is really bad, because he can be invisible and up there, but then he takes one step forward and he's suddenly visible. So if that happens to you, it's just the game, and it's ridiculously poor draw distance at time, or however it renders things that are a distance from you. That little skull is what this guy pumps out of his body sometimes, and he does blow up in a Wrath of God explosion. That sludge there in his mouth, that's a ghost punching me if you're wondering. What a cheeky bastard. That sludge anyhow, if that gets on you, it will destroy the durability of your weapons. Very, very cheap, don't like it at all. But easily evaded when you trap him in the door. Because you'll notice I moved to the left and he couldn't do anything. In fact, he can't do out to you here as long as you stay in a good position, because his spear will miss generally. And his goo will go over you. And then the only real threat is those stupid skulls. Those like Ghost Rider grenades or whatever the hell they are. But there's the other Darkwraith. There's the cheeky strafe and then the backstab. Didn't drop anything. Over here I believe is a Titanite chunk. Yep. And then that's the other ghost, so I might as well slay it while I've got the ability to do so. And this is the doorway that leads to the Kings. So now that we've cleared out New Londo, we need to get the equipment to be able to go through that door and deal some damage. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.